Role will the Department of War have in a post-Maduro Venezuela, and describe the process the administration will use to determine whether or not current members of the Venezuelan military or Venezuelan government have a role in a post-Maduro Venezuela.
Thanks for the question. So the department has a contingency plan for everything. We are a planning organization. If anything were to happen around the world, we have a response planned and ready. So we stand at the president's beck and call, our commander-in-chief, to do what is needed if called upon. And that will be what this department continues to focus on and continues to prepare for in regards to our ongoing operations in the Southcom region. Again, our focus is taking out narco-terrorists and rooting out that threat that is poisoning the American people. Every single boat that we strike saves 25,000 American lives.
Tensions continue between the US and Venezuela. Here's what to know. US President Donald Trump said on Saturday that the airspace above and surrounding Venezuela should be considered as closed in its entirety. Writing on his social media, Trump addressed his call for an aerial blockade to airlines, pilots, drug dealers and human traffickers. It was unclear whether President Trump was announcing a new policy or seeking to ratchet up pressure on Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. In response, Maduro's government accused Trump of being a colonial threat and seeking to undermine the South American country's sovereignty. The US government does not view Maduro as the legitimate leader of the oil-rich but increasingly impoverished South American nation, and he faces charges of narco-terrorism in the US. The US has built its largest military firepower presence in the region in generations and carried out multiple strikes in the Caribbean Sea and Eastern Pacific Ocean. More than 80 people have been killed in such strikes since early September. The US administration says the strikes are aimed at cartels, some of which it claims are controlled by Maduro. Trump is also weighing up whether to carry out strikes on the Venezuelan mainland. Lawmakers from both parties say they support congressional reviews of US military strikes against vessels in the region, citing a published report that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth issued a verbal order for all crew members to be killed as part of a September 2nd attack on suspected drug smugglers. They said they did not know whether last week's Washington Post report was true, but added that attacking survivors of an initial missile strike poses serious legal concerns. Trump has said he will look into the matter.
Number one, I don't know that happened, and Pete said he did not want them. He didn't even know what people were talking about. So we'll look into it. But no, I wouldn't have wanted that. Not a second strike. The first strike was very lethal. It was fine, and if there were two people around, but Pete said that didn't happen.
Does that make you?
I have great confidence.
You say there's no second strike?
I don't know. I'm going to find out about it, but Pete said he did not order the death of those two men.
While flying back to Washington from Florida on Sunday, where he celebrated Thanksgiving, Trump confirmed that he had spoken with the Venezuelan president, but has revealed little about the conversation.
Now, one of the big major things that the American people voted Trump in was because we wanted him to protect this country. Not just closing the border, but also preventing drugs from other countries coming into this country. And that includes, going through the waterways. And if it means to destroy these ships or boats that are carrying all these drugs and illegal contraband, our government is doing the great job into destroying them before they get on land here in America. And this isn't the first time. This has been going on for a couple months now. You'd think if it was regular civilians or peace boats, they would be afraid of even going on the water and where these attacks are taking place. Because they'll be like, you know what, we don't want to get bombed. We don't want to get killed and be mistaken as somebody that's doing illegal activities. And that's just my opinion. But, the government, the agencies, they have top tier intelligence to figure out what's on these boats, tapping into their communications on the boat and listening in on what is being transported, who's on the boat specifically. This is something the government should definitely know 100%. And President Trump saying, I'm going to find out, I trust Pete Hegseth. We know Pete Hegseth is a warhead. He's all about making the military great, but he's not all I don't believe he's somebody that's like, hey, I want to go to war. We need to go to war. We need to have millions of Americans die. No, he's not that type of leader. I would not say he is. Just because of all the interviews and everything we've seen from him. But who knows? Who knows? But it's good that the reporter asked these type of questions to have Trump say, you know what, I'm going to look into it, and then I'll report back to the American public. And, you know, reporters should be pressing him on this.
Mr. President, on Venezuela, can you tell us more about why the airspace above Venezuela should be considered closed?
Because we consider Venezuela to be not a very friendly country. They send millions of people, really, and probably a number in excess of that. And a lot of those people shouldn't be in our country, from jails, from gangs, from drug dealers, from all of the people that came into our country shouldn't have been in our country, causing a lot of problem.
Does your warning
and drugs.
Does your warning mean that an airstrike is imminent, or should we not read it that way?
Don't read anything into it.
The New York Times reported that you had a phone call with Maduro. Did you?
I don't want to comment on it. The answer is yes.
And can you tell us a little bit
No,
about
I can't do that.
Mr.
Would you
President,
say it went well?
No, I wouldn't say it went well or badly. It was a phone call.
That's very interesting. I didn't know he made a call with Maduro because, yeah, that is very fair to question. What was the conversation about? It wasn't a bad call. It wasn't a good call. But you're over here bombing these Venezuelan boats and, you know, saying we don't need these criminals in the United States. But here you are in the background making a call to the president of Venezuela. I mean, it's fair to say, hey, what was the conversation about, at least? I don't know who even brought up the point that there was 2 survivors if the administration didn't say anything about that. I don't know who carried the rumor or who started it into saying that, oh yeah, after the bombing of this recent ship, there was 2 survivors, and Pete Hegseth decided to tell somebody, apparently, that he wanted those 2 killed. Everybody should be killed. Well, and he's denying the claims. President Trump doesn't even know what the hell these people are talking about. Now he's saying he has to look into it. I mean, it's fair to figure out what is going on, because if we start having people within the government, especially Pete Hegseth, Department of War, start making decisions on his own or doing something under the table that he shouldn't be doing, the president should be getting involved and putting him back in his place, or probably relieving him of his duty if he's doing something he's not supposed to be doing for this country. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Till next time, peace out, everybody. This one's for Charlie.